So just like believers of religions belong to different denominations, they have the freedom to interpret it, as they do. You not believing in these religions also have the freedom to interpret the text and the meaning that's being presented in the text. So, like Christianity has all these denominations, Islam has all these denominations that claim to know the true message being presented by their book, their belief. You not believing in that religion have the right to communicate about what you think the true intended meaning of those books are. Okay, that you think it's just a manipulation tactic and that you think it has violent and immoral propositions. So a lot of the times they try to get you in trouble for stating what you believe the text states. And it's just not right. So, they're commanded by their religions to go out and preach their religions. Well, why are you not allowed to go out and preach your religion? Like, if you're not religious, why are you not allowed to go preach your beliefs? Okay, you are allowed to. So they go out preaching against other religions, preaching against other denominations of their religion, saying that they have the true one. Okay, well, you're allowed to go preach against their religion. Okay, preach about your belief. All right, it's the same thing. So, a lot of the times it seems like they don't let religiously unaffiliated people express their freedoms, their freedom to interpret other religions, and just like those religions interpret themselves. And so it's just a bunch of nonsense. And basically, you have the freedom to interpret a religion. If you interpret it as violent, okay, you have the freedom to believe that. You have the freedom to talk about that. Okay, they have no right to like prosecute you and stuff if these freedoms exist. So so when they try to cancel you and get you in trouble and get you for hate speech and stuff just for having an interpretation of the religion, okay, and you probably have the correct interpretation of the religion when you're, acknowledging it in an objective way. It's a breach of your rights, and the government panders to these people, sides with these people a lot, gets righteous people in trouble, with false accusations. And just be careful of that and recognize that you do have the freedom to speak out against these things and hold a belief of what their religion is presenting. Okay, you don't have to believe in a religion to have a belief in what the religion is saying. Like, so you're allowed to go say Islam is violent. Okay, you can provide the evidence, all that stuff. Okay, they do try to come after you. Okay, legally and stuff, and oppressively, and they try to silence your freedom of speech and all this stuff. So, and they might come at you violently, acting like you're some kind of hostile. Okay, so you cannot attack these people, all right, because you don't have the support of the government. Okay, the government does not recognize an official interpretation of Islam. Okay, Islam's obviously the violent one, you know, the most violent one. So the government does not recognize an official interpretation of Islam. So they're not going to support you in punishing someone for saying that they believe in this religion. So what you have to do to get someone in legal trouble is get them to admit to the verses in the texts that identify them as a terrorist. That's difficult to do because they practice taqiyya and lying and manipulating and all this stuff. They're aware of it. Okay, they've been aware of it for thousands of years. They were aware of this possibility when they wrote the book. Okay, they knew that they had a violent religion and they would have to go lie about it to infiltrate. So they're probably going to lie about it and all this stuff and give these nonsensical interpretations that are totally contradictory to what's being stated in the book. The government, you know, logically should interpret writings as they are written based on the meanings of words and how it's written. Okay, if somebody writes something, you can interpret what it says because words have meaning and you have a brain. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know if the government's going to actually recognize Islam as a religion of hate and violence. So, you know, you're not going to get the support of the government until you actually provide evidence of the individuals admitting to the obvious meaning of the verses that demand the terrorism. But you have the freedom to say that the Muslims are terrorists and they're lying and stuff. Okay, that's you interpreting the text based on how it's written objectively. You providing evidence. Okay, there it is. Okay, you can have a belief of what every religion, all their intentions, what is written in it, what they're commanded to do. Okay, just like they have the freedom to interpret other religions and interpret their own. Okay, you can do the same. And you can talk about it. You just cannot act on it. Okay, until the government actually recognizes it. So that's it. You can't act on it. You have to provide evidence. You know, and it should be enough to just be like, look, they're saying they're Muslim. This is what the book says. Their evidence right there. Are you stupid? But the government's pretty ignorant, and you're gonna have to literally get them verbatim admitting to these statements in the text that are specifically linked to terrorism, and or catch them in the act. But you know, they might try to silence you. The government might oppress you. You see them side with Islam a lot. You see what's going on in Minnesota. Okay, that's not a safe place to be. Okay, you can't go in Minnesota and start speaking honestly about Islam. Okay, the United States government will prosecute you. All right, it's a dangerous place. So, you know, at least that place in Minnesota with the stuff going on. But that's just how things are going. It's just like gang culture, mob culture, you know, oppressive culture, different oppressive, savage, violent groups teaming together, getting into positions of power, making excuses for each other, manipulating, promoting each other's tactics, planning on attacking each other later on. But yeah, I just want to talk about you have the freedom of interpretation, just like they do. Okay, you can talk about it. You can't act on it until you have the specific evidence needed. You know, you need very specific evidence. Like, I'm just trying to help you be safe about it, and that's it. So you don't have to believe in a religion to have the right to have an interpretation of what it presents, and express that interpretation and preach against it. Okay, it's just a lot of manipulation and false accusations and stuff going on in our nation and in the world. It's part of the infiltration tactic. And these people are not happy. Okay, happiness comes with community and fairness, and these people are not living lives of enjoyment. Okay, so don't think that they're winning in any way. All right, they're wasting their life. Like, so.